Hi, welcome to your restorative rest practice. This practice is intended to bring you into a deep state of relaxation. Often, especially as communities of color, we experience so much stress, generational trauma, anxiety, that it's very, very hard for us to find a place where it's comfortable to rest. It's our birthright to find a break from the hustle and the bustle and to really step into the inner core of our beings through deep and powerful rest and restoration. This is especially good for if you have any type of conditions, psychosomatic conditions or physical conditions like anxiety, PTSD, and especially with conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure. It is very imperative to give the body a chance to rest and get out of that cortisol fight or flight response. But regardless, so just find yourself in a comfortable place. I invite you, especially with this practice today, have a blanket handy, have a pillow handy, which I'm going to grab, and make sure that your phones are turned off. There we go. And as much as possible, invite it to be a very calming environment. Invite your children to come and join you, whatever it is. So to begin with, I just invite you to find a comfortable seated position to start off with. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths and come into our bodies and come into the space. After your long day, perhaps, or maybe you are just finding this time for yourself, I just invite you to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Breathing deep into your belly space, you are going to close your eyes if it feels comfortable for you, and take a deep breath into the belly, filling up the middle of the belly, filling up the lower lung, filling up making more space for the diaphragm to come down, and raising the breath all the way to the hand that is rising on your chest, on the top of your chest. And then exhaling, releasing that breath from the top of the chest, from the top of the shoulders, feeling the ribs coming in towards each other, and then exhaling out, the belly button comes back towards the spine. So let's try this breath again. This is called a 3-part breath. We're going to try this breath again, and we're going to, this time, try it through imagining that you're blowing out a birthday candle. So inhaling the breath deeply into the middle of the belly, the center of the rib, the top of the rib, and then exhaling out, letting the breath fall from underneath the armpits, knitting the ribs back together, and then the breath coming, the belly button back towards the spine. And then one more time, inhaling deep into the belly, into the center of the ribs, expanding the top, all the way the breath comes to underneath the chin, into the armpit, and then exhaling out, the breath comes out of the top of the lungs, the middle of the lungs, and the bottom of the lungs. The belly button comes back towards the spine. This is called the 3-part breath, and it's really, really helpful for just finding your center. We'll try this again, and this time we're going to extend the exhale. So inhaling in, 2, 3, filling up the belly, and then exhaling out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling in, 2, 3, and exhaling out, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is comfortable for you, you might even extend the exhale to a 6 or a 7. Inhaling in, 2, 3, and exhaling out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blowing that birthday candle out. In the deepest breath of your day today, inhaling in, 2, 3, maybe even flaring the nostrils here. And then on the exhale, blowing out that candle, blowing out that stress, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really feeling that belly come back towards the back of the spine. And one more time, the deepest breath of the day, inhaling the top, the middle, the top, and the side of the lung. And then exhaling out, blowing out that candle, blowing out that stress. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching up the count for you. And then just closing your eyes and sitting up nice and tall. And just setting an intention today for your practice. Using the mind as a clear slate and using the affirmation, the power of the I am. So often we have other things in our life that take precedence over our true desires. So in this space for your healing, I just invite you to come back to yourself. Invite yourself to set an intention in the form of an affirmation in a powerful phrase, a very powerful, simple phrase. Maybe it is, I am relaxed. Whatever's the first word that comes to your mind today. And just using that as your intention for your healing today. We will be coming back to this throughout the practice. Just inviting you to use your breath, use your body, and use your mind as a site for exploration. And of course, you know your body better than I do. So of course, these things are all suggestions. And if something doesn't feel right for you, of course, modify it to what does feel good in your body. So finding a comfortable place where you can lie down. You're going to just lie flat on the ground. If you have a yoga mat, that's fine. A lot of times I just practice straight on the rug, wherever's comfortable. And you can place if you have the pillow, you can place it out in front of you. You could just, we're going to lie on the front and experience that same feeling of the 3-count breath, but lying down on the belly. So you can place the hands as a pillow, interlacing the fingers, placing them underneath the forehead, and setting the forehead down on the ground. The feet spread wide apart, breathing deep into the belly. Breathing into the middle lungs and having the biofeedback of the ground. Allow for more space in this relaxation. Inviting the belly to fill into the ground, expanding the sides of the ribs, breathing all the way up to the top of the head, letting that breath fill the body, just getting to cue the body that it's okay to relax. This will be a very slow moving practice. So just let yourself begin to sink into and savor the feeling of relaxation. There's nothing to be, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just begin to use the sound of your oceanic breath to lull you into a deeper state of relaxation. Then you might begin to walk the hands forward, placing the fingertips on the floor, spidering the fingertips forward, and giving yourself a nice full body stretch, as if it's first thing in the morning, extending the neck out of the cervical vertebrae. Maybe get another inch of length as the forehead slides up onto the rugged surface you're lying on, and then inching your fingertips up and forward as well. Extending through the toes, extending through the fingertips here. Lengthening the spine, lengthening the body. And then on your next exhale, rolling over to your left side with the left arm extended, placing the right foot behind you and using the right hand to push you up. The right foot reaches onto the floor, flattens onto the floor, and rolling over to the left side. You can extend the right hand forward, or if there's a more comfortable place for it, find that as well. Feeling this opening in the left side of the hip, the left side of the groin, extending the toes, pointing the toes, extending the left fingertip, and breathing into the left side of the lung as you're opening up more space. Come and get this healing, bringing this relaxation into your body. And on your next exhale, rolling over to the front side of the body, placing the right hand parallel along the left hand, rolling over to the right side of the body, and as you do, placing the left hand, pressing it into the floor, rolling the left foot back behind the right knee, and allowing the right head, the right ear to rest on the right shoulder. Breathing into the right side of the ribs, opening up the lungs. Extending fingertip to toe on the right side. Can you find more spaciousness in your body? And on the exhale, rolling over, back onto the front side of the body. Extending the fingertip, the left hand to come meet the right. And in a way that it feels comfortable, beginning to pull the fingertips. The elbows come back under the shoulders into a Sphinx pose. Rotating the shoulders up and down and back, pressing both hands into the floor. Inhaling up, rotating the shoulders back. The feet are hip width distance apart, pressing both the tops of the feet into the ground. And inhaling into the front of the chest. Seeing if you can create a little bit more space between the neck and the ears as the chin is parallel to the floor. Taking 2 deep breaths here. Coming back to that 3-count breath. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, you might use that here, victory breath. Or back to that 3-count breath, basically breathing in through the nose in a sexy Darth Vader sound and exhaling out the nose. and a deep sighing or snoring sound. One more time, inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out the back of the nose, the back of the throat. Looking down, the chin comes down towards the chest, extending through the back of the neck, breathing into the back of the cervical spine, pressing the hands and the feet, the tops of the feet into the ground, feeling a little bit more space in the back of the neck here. And even as the elbows press into the ground, perhaps feeling an opening on the back side of the heart. And on the exhale, releasing yourself all the way down onto the floor. Resting the head on the floor, perhaps the head on the hands. And you could shake the head back and forth from the right side of the temple to the left temple, shaking the head back and forth, breathing through, evening out the creases on the forehead. And coming back to that state of deep relaxation. Because the breath leads the body. Inhaling deep into the center of the belly, into the center of your strength. Maybe even feeling your belly, feeling your core muscles engage as you pull up on your pelvic floor. And on your exhale, place the hands underneath your shoulders and pressing back into a child's pose. So the knees here, you might walk them forward into underneath the hips. The hands begin to walk forward. The toes come together. The knees spread wide apart. And walking the hands forward so that the fingertips touch the ground, extending into this child's pose here. Breathing into the back, inviting expansiveness into the back of the pelvis. You might be able to think about the body and the breath as a 360 experience. So you have a front, a middle, and a back side where the breath easily and gently flows into this pranic tube, this energy tube where your life force dwells. Breathing all the way up into your armpits, maybe even extending the arms out a little wider, the fingertips out a little wider here. Experiencing this expansion of the belly and gravity as it allows the belly to just relax down towards the ground. Breathing into the side of the ribs, into the armpits. Beautiful. And when you're ready, walking the fingertips back underneath the shoulders, allowing the feet to come hip width distance apart, and walking the knees up under the hips. We're coming into a cat-cow position. So inhaling the tailbone and the head up towards the top of the sky. Breathing into the front of the chin, expanding through the hip bones. Really slowly and gently allowing the breath to come into the front of the body. And at your own pace, when you come to your exhale, tucking the tailbone under, beginning this wave-like motion that begins at the bottom of the tailbone, moves to the center of the ribs, pressing into the hands, and allowing the chin to come towards the chest, and breathing into the back of the neck, coming into your cat position. You might even think of this as a Halloween cat. You might even shake the head back and forth. No, thank you. Here. Yes, please. Releasing the neck. Releasing. Allowing relaxation to come into the neck and the shoulders as the belly comes up towards the spine and the exhale. And on your next inhale, initiating the move from the bottom of the spine, the tailbone tucks up towards the sky, the belly comes down, the pelvis rolls upwards, the middle of the ribs expand to the front of the body, the heart falls down, creating more space in the back body as the chin comes up towards the sky, the top of the crown extends to its rightful place, up towards the sky. Breathing into the front of the chin, the front side of the neck. Allowing this gentle expansion. You might even give the tailbone a wiggle back and forth here. Shaking the tail from side to side, shaking the shoulders from side to side, creating some more space in the lower back, in the upper back, and even through the shoulders and the neck. Maybe even extending this wiggle, moving the right ear to the right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder, just at your own pace. Exploring this movement as you're at home by yourself or in a place with you and yourself, taking this time for you and yourself. And no one's watching. It's the beauty of the practice, the home practice. Just allowing yourself to expand into yourself in this healing space. And then exhaling one last time, the chin comes down towards the chest, the belly rises up towards the spine, into cat position, the tailbone tucks under, pressing into the hands, pressing into the top of the feet. Inhaling deep, feeling that expansion in the backside of the rib. Exhaling, staying in this position, and again wagging your tail here, wagging the head back and forth, right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. Then you might find you'd like to connect this movement, and then just making circles, circling from cat to cow. So looking right ear, right shoulder, head comes down to the ground into cat position. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Chin and chest come up towards the sky into cow position. And right ear, right shoulder. And then switching direction. Right ear comes to right shoulder. Tailbone switches up towards the sky. Left ear comes to left shoulder, winding around and coming back into your child's pose. Extending the arms forward. And as you do, tucking the left arm underneath into figure four. The left side of the ear comes onto the floor. The right arm walks out forward. Allowing this expansion underneath the right and the left side of the armpits to allow more breath into the body. A gentle ebb and flow of spaciousness of healing, training the body to relax. And when you're ready, pressing back towards the hips, walking the right hand underneath the right shoulder, pressing both hands into the ground, parallel, and then walking the left arm forward, and as you do, reaching the right arm up into the sky and breathing it underneath into your figure four, or bringing the right ear onto the side of the floor, extending the left arm forward. Breathing into the side body, breathing into the back of the hips here. See how quickly the body can relax. And if you find that the mind is wandering, come back to your intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of class. I am. So we're learning to train the awareness, train the expansion of our consciousness to be a positive force of help and service to us, and so then we can be of service to others in the world. And walking the hand back underneath the shoulder, the left hand underneath the left shoulder, unwinding, and coming back up to all fours, and then walking the feet forward. We're going to come onto our backs here, into a lying position. Just checking. Make sure that you can come all the way back onto your back, placing your feet flat on the ground. The hands come flat up to the sides. And then inhaling, placing both knees, giving yourself a hug. Both knees come in towards the chest and rocking back and forth on your lower back, rocking side to side, expanding, feeling that expansion of the pelvic, the back of the pelvis onto the floor, kind of flattening out the divot in the lower back. If you have any lower back problems, this is a really good stretch to create some space and some relief in the lower back as you squeeze the knees towards the chest. And just for a second here, you might begin to lift the chin up towards the chest into a little tiny ball, just to relieve some tension at the back of the neck here, and then gently releasing the head back down towards the ground. Beautiful. And then holding on to both knees, you can release a little bit further, right hand onto right knee, left hand onto left knee, and beginning to do some back circles. So 360, just little tiny circles, starting the size of a coin and expanding into the size of an orange, expanding to the size of a frisbee, coordinating that breath and movement and feeling the legs around in a 360 movement. Releasing stress, releasing muscular tension on the backside of the body, the backside of the hips. And bring the knees back in towards the chest. And then rotating in the opposite direction, beginning really small with a tiny circle first, almost imperceptible. And then coordinating With the exhale, the legs come out. The inhale, legs come towards you. Or you might even find the extension feels better to inhale the legs out a little bit further and exhale the legs come towards you. Just beginning to play with the breath. Play with the coordination of the breath and movement. Feeling and finding what feels good in your body. When you're ready, extending the left leg forward, flat on the ground. The right knee still is coming towards the right armpit. And then opening the right knee out towards the right side of the body. Taking some tiny circles here with the hand on the knee, on the calf, underneath the thigh, if that feels good for you, wherever you can reach. And just taking a nice 360 circle in one direction, clockwise, and then switching to counterclockwise, whichever direction you go in first. And just finding some opening in the femur and the hip bone, allowing for some space in the head. And grabbing a hold of the left knee, extending the right arm out to the side, and rolling, extending the left knee down, the right knee, so relaxed, down toward the left side of the body. And then looking over towards the right hand, getting a side stretch as the bent knee, right knee comes over towards the left side. Breathing into the back of the lower back. This should feel really good, a nice release. If this feels tight for your lower back, you can bend the left knee so that both knees are just slightly bent. If it feels like still too much strain, you can bend both knees and bring in both knees bent. If that still feels like too much of a stress on the lower back, you can look up towards the ceiling and just allowing those knees, the left knee, and perhaps now the right knee to fall over towards the left side of the body. Breathing into the lower back. And on your exhale, bringing that right knee back up towards the chest, the left knee extended, and switching the knees, extending the right leg down. The left knee comes up towards the armpit, taking those small circles in one direction with the left knee, holding onto the underneath the knee, on the calf, on the back side of the thigh, rotating the femur around. Seeing if you can coordinate that breath and the movement. And then switching directions. Feeling the expansion and the contraction of the belly. The breath in the belly as the leg moves around in the socket, the hip. Releasing. And then when you're ready, on your next exhale, gently allowing the left knee to fall over towards the right side of the body. If it's comfortable for you, you can leave the arms out in a T shape. If it's comfortable, you can grab the right hand, rest onto the left thigh. You have options here. If that's comfortable for you, you can look over at your left hand. And again, if this is too much on your lower back, you can bend your right knee just slightly, or maybe bending both knees here. Looking up towards the sky. And really making sure in this position that you really know when you come to your full stretch as both shoulders stay on the ground. Allowing the back of both shoulders to rest on the ground. Breathing into the lower belly. Releasing, relaxing. Coming back to your attention here. Back to your affirmation. And on the next exhale, extending the left knees, come back up towards the chest. Both legs coming flat on the ground. The shoulder blades rotating up and down and back. And bringing both feet so that they're flat underneath the knees. The back is flat on the floor. We're going to create the pigeon pose lying on the back. So extending, pulling the right knee up and placing the right shin over the left thigh bone. You might just stay here and breathe into the lower belly, pressing the back of the hands onto the floor. If this feels comfortable for you and you'd like a little bit more, you can weave your right hand through the center of your legs and holding onto the back of the left thigh here if that's comfortable for you. And extending, pressing both feet into an imaginary wall, active in the feet, and allowing the left thigh to come back towards the belly. Breathing into the back. Keep nice and relaxed through the shoulders here. Seeing where you can find ease. Seeing where you can find joy and more relief for the body. As you're training the breath and the awareness to just relax, giving yourself permission to relax. When you're ready, doing the hand, releasing the leg, allowing the left foot to come down towards the ground, both hands come up towards the sky, placing the right heel parallel to the left heel, pressing the right foot into the ground, lifting the left foot up so that the left shin comes parallel over the right thigh, into a figure four, pressing both feet, or the right foot in particular, firmly into the ground. Imagine you're pressing into a wall. You just relax here. And if that feels good, breathing into the lower belly. If you'd like a little more, you can in on your next exhale. Inhale, extending the left hand through the center of the legs, giving a hold to the back side of the right leg. Breathing deep into the pelvic bowl. Come and get this healing. Allowing for the space in the back of the body. You might even press the left elbow into the side of the left thigh, opening up the left thigh. Really extending, expanding through the back body. You come back to that three-part breath. Notice what's happening with the breath. What's happening with the mind. You might notice that as the mind wanders, when you bring an awareness back to the breath, you then bring your awareness back into your body, back into your own sensation back into your own feet. And on the next exhale, releasing the hands, releasing the leg down. The right heel comes and presses into the ground. And coming up into just a small little bridge pose here. So with both feet parallel to the hips, the hands press into the ground, rotating the shoulders so that the palms are facing and pressing down into the ground. Then slowly peel the tailbone off of the ground. On your inhale, lifting the tailbone up, lifting the middle back up, and pressing into the feet, and gently lifting up into the back of the ribs so that the weight just gently bears, perhaps, on the shoulders, and then exhaling the middle, the top of the back, the middle of the back, and the lower back down. Bringing that awareness into the feet. And one more time, pressing into the feet, nice and firm through the thighs, extending the tailbone up, the middle back up, peeling the top of the chest up, breathing into the front of the heart, and then exhaling. The shoulder blades come down, middle back comes down, and lower back comes down. Beautiful. Feeling this relief as you bring the knees towards the chest. Exhaling, and just rocking back and forth, side to side on the lower back. Again, releasing, relaxing, expanding into the breath. And extending both hands onto the floor. We're coming into a Shavasana, or deep relaxation, corpse pose. This is said to be one of the most difficult practices in physical poses, asanas, and yoga, as allowing the body to remain still. So just the arms are, the feet are hip width distance apart. The palms are facing up towards the sky. You can even lock the shoulder blades underneath the body, creating a little soft C curve in the back of the neck. If you have a blanket, just make sure that you're warm. We will be here first a little bit of time as we're moving into a guided deep relaxation or yogic sleep, yoga nidra. I invite you to just release the breath, to come deeper into your relaxation. Deeper into the sense of peace. Scanning the body from head to toe. Seeing how quickly you can just release and let go. Releasing the physical, releasing the mental. And just give yourself the gift to just be at complete ease. So often we are used to doing that we forget that stillness is a gift. So as you lie in this position, your this moment is to remain comfortable. Just give your body and your brain this chance to fully accept, settle into, nestle into this feeling of comfort and relaxation. So this is the deep state of sleepless sleep, consciousness between wakefulness and sleeping. So as much as possible, just try to stay aware, and yet every time you hear the word relax, you feel this wave of peace settling deeper and deeper into the body. So you will be asked to move your awareness through various body sensations, various images. So your goal is just to listen to the sound of my voice and try not to concentrate too intensely on anything that might prevent you from relaxing. During this meditation, please try to stay as still as possible. Just absorb the moment and leave the rest behind. You're becoming aware of any sounds that you hear in this moment in your environment. Just notice what you hear without straining. Beginning to move your attention. See what can you hear the furthest expanse of your hearing. You hear road sounds. You hear birds, wind. With bringing your attention of your hearing a little bit closer into your environment. Notice the sounds without letting them startle you. Just hearing with a sense of radiation outward. Searching the sounds, following them for a few moments. Move your attention from sound to sound without labeling them. Moving your attention from the sounds outside of the building to the sounds inside of the building to the sound inside of the room. Next, become aware of your breath, your natural breath, the spontaneous way your breath moves in and out of your body without effort, allowing the natural flow of the breath through the nostrils, and notice the feeling of the breath. As you inhale and exhale, the warmth of the breath, the coolness of the breath as you inhale, the warmth as you exhale. Notice the natural ebbing and flowing of the breath, allowing your breath to become longer and slower. You might take a long, slow inhalation, followed by a longer, slower, extended exhalation. Try that again. Next time, making your exhale even slower. You might notice the slight pause after the exhale. Slow the inhale, even slower on the exhale, and then the pause. Feeling the urge to breathe in, bubble up inside of you. When you need to inhale, please do so. That long, slow inhale, the longer, slower exhale, and then pause. And the body is either breathing in or out. Please continue to breathe in this way. Now just go back to your natural, easy breathing. Releasing any control of the inhale and the exhale. So the practice of Yoga Nidra has now begun. And at this moment, you should make your sankalpa or your resolve, your intention. You might come back to this intention that you set at the beginning of today's class. This positive statement in simple language, the I am statement that you experience and might repeat 3 times. This intention of sankalpa plants a seed in the fertile soil of your mind to bring about transformation and to bring about healing. Allow yourself to repeat your sankalpa, your intention, and you can also silently repeat after me. I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am relaxed. I am aware. Beginning next the systematic journey of sensory awareness through the body. We move your awareness to different parts of the body as soon as they're named. You can internally repeat the name of the part to yourself and feel that part of your body, yet you don't need to move it. The top of the head, the scalp, inner ear, the sinuses, the eye muscles, the jaw, the throat, the right temple, left temple, right ear, left ear, right elbow, left eyebrow, right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, right lip, left lower lip, right upper lip, left upper lip, the chin, the jaw, throat, armpits, right arm, left arm, right hand, left hand, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, the right pelvis, left side of the pelvis, the right buttock, the left buttocks, the right thigh, the left thigh, right knee, left knee, right calf, left calf, right foot, left foot, the whole front of the body, the whole back side of the body, the right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, the whole face, the whole head, the whole torso, the whole body. The whole body is relaxed. The whole body, mind, and spirit is relaxed. When you're ready, begin to visualize a clear white screen, a projection screen that you can pull down and place in front of your mind's eye. And begin to project onto the screen a sky, a beautiful blue sky. Imagine that each cloud in the blue sky that comes in is one of your thoughts and is one of your emotions. So take a moment to look up at the sky and see what is coming up. What do the clouds look like? Notice which part of the sky has dark, thick, maybe even rain clouds, and where the sky is moving swiftly with little puffy clouds moving across the sky. The most beautiful of all is the bright, brilliant patches of clear blue where the sun shines through. You can begin to focus on these patches of blue. And you might even notice that as you bring your attention and your awareness to the shining of the sun, it's as if the clouds begin to evaporate. And you can focus on the blue sky. And as you focus on the blue sky, just take a deep breath. You begin to relax as you notice the sky is beginning to clear. And slowly, one by one, all the clouds are blown away by a brisk wind with an enchanting energy, seem to be connected to this deep inhalation and exhalation as you're breathing into this relaxation. You watch the clouds disappear from the horizon, and as you do, your mind clears, and you feel a deep sense of relief as you relax into this deep, blissful, clear state of your mind now. Your mind is this clear, blank slate in which you can project your thoughts of healing. So coming back to your sankalpa, to your intention, please repeat that statement, your I am affirmation, and you might even see it projected onto the screen. Repeating the statement as you did 3 times mentally now. I am. I am. I am. So coming back into the feeling of the breath flowing in and out of your body, maintaining your awareness, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You count backwards from 3 to 1. And when we reach the number 1, you will be awake and aware, feeling better than you did when you started, in a perfect state of health. So beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes, extending that stretch. 3, maybe even rolling over to your right side. 2, on the count of 1, you are completely relaxed, aware, awake, feeling renewed and better than you did when you began, in perfect health. Taking a deep inhale and exhale, coming up into a seated position, 1, with your hands in front of your heart, pressing both hands, both palms firmly in front, one into another, placing the hands in front of the third eye, in front of the forehead. There have been benefits from this practice, giving thanks for right thought, and placing the hands in front of the mouth, giving gratitude for right speech, heart-centered speech, and placing the hands in front of the heart, pressing firmly both palms together, bowing your head to your heart for right heart-centered action. If there have been benefits from this practice, perhaps giving yourself some gratitude for taking this time for your healing, sending some of this extra love out to someone who might need some, giving thanks to your ancestors for this gift of life, and giving gratitude to the African American Arts and Cultural Complex for creating this space for healing. And in gratitude, I'd like to say namaste, bowing to the divine in you. Ashe. I'm Afiyayana, and we'll be back with more yoga.